Welcome back. We're discussing the equity schemes of IDFC Mutual Fund, and joining me on the show right now is Dhirendra Kumar of Value Research. Dhirendra, it's good to have you on the show. Let's start by discussing IDFC Premier Fund. It's done well in terms of returns. What's your view on the fund and its performance?
This fund has been very impressive. IDFC Premier Equity has been particularly good with spotting stocks, emphasizing sector in its portfolio and ahead of the curve. And another thing which I have witnessed in this fund is, which is interesting, is that this fund has very often has been closed for new subscription, and that has benefited the fund because whenever it has closed for new subscription, more people have opened their SIP account, and then this has resulted in sustained inflow through a very turbulent phase of the market where the investors have been very anxious. That has also partially helped the fund, and I would say this is a fund which can, or most of the performance can be attributed to the fund manager.
The next fund is IDFC Sterling Equity, where the approach is to buy stocks with proven businesses and little environment risk. Keeping the mandate in mind, how do you evaluate the performance of the fund?
This is a fund, where again, similar strategy as in IDFC Premier Equity is visible here too. Because identifying stock where it has little environment risk, but it is dominantly a mid and small cap portfolio. In fact, the fund was earlier called differently, and it has done exceedingly well. And I think particularly through the lean times, being into sectors and stocks which are not as badly affected, that has helped the fund. So I would call Sterling Equity also a fairly above average, not an outstanding fund, but a fairly good fund.
Well, IDFC Equity is a fund which mirrors the benchmark in the composition of its portfolio and its returns. What should an investor keep in mind while investing in a fund like this as a strategy to his entire portfolio?
Looking at a large cap fund, and when you pay fee for getting outperformance, you must get that. And with this fund, you don't. So IDFC Equity, I think, by matching the performance and, just replicating the performance of the index, I don't think it justifies the cost, and there are superior alternatives in this category. If you have to settle with the index performance, why not go for, certainly predictable index performance with an index fund? So I would say IDFC Equity, I think it still has to make a case for itself as a good large cap fund.
IDFC 50/50 is an interesting theme. It's a small fund where 50% of the portfolio at any given point in time has exposure to a particular sector. How do you view this fund versus other sectoral funds which are there in the market?
It's pretty straightforward. It's a 50% sector fund, and the sector fund, unlike other sector funds, where it is predefined that this is going to be a technology fund, FMCG fund, here the onus is on fund manager, and because it's his discretion, he's supposed to be in a sector or emphasizing a sector opportunistically, and it has not worked out very well in its category. If I compare it with other funds, it's nowhere on the horizon. It's a below average performer. Its bet has not worked out so far, and I don't think it has made a case for itself very strongly.